Lost our music there, guys.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Scotty P, the DJ, was messing up the synchronicity there or something going on. But welcome in, everyone, to another edition of Ozarks Gambling Gurus. We are here. We took a week break last week to recharge and refresh and get Murph out of jail somewhere. And it's been a good period there. I think we're ready to talk a little bit now, are we?
Sounds
I think
good.
so. I'm ready.
Yeah. We're going to talk to Phil Montgomery, our college football guru, is going to join us here in about 10 minutes, talk about some big games coming up and some of the situations out there in college football with Mike Gundy getting fired at Oklahoma State, and is Dabo Swinney next at Clemson because they're off to a 1-3 start. And we'll talk some fantasy football. We'll look at some of the college and NFL matchups and the lines and give our thoughts on those. And like we start out each time with a little casino talk. 2 weeks since the last time we were on, you guys make some trips?
I made back-to-back trips, but it's about the same outcome every time. Poker tournaments, no good. Cash game, do good. Keeps me going in cash. And then I try my late night slots, and no hand pays for me. So, Dan, did you play any?
I 2 Saturdays ago, I went down to Indigo Sky and did not do very good. It was pretty quiet there. Didn't hear much action going on. Walked around quite a bit, and I did eat at the new restaurant, and it was fine. I think they're still maybe trying to figure some things out. I think it's a really nice chain, restaurant type thing they've got going. I think maybe they're having a little difficulty trying to run that the way it should be ran, maybe. But no, it was pretty quiet for me. Scott, Randy, and I have talked. We're not ready to make this public yet, but there's been a common denominator in our losing streak here in the last 6 weeks
since we started doing the show.
So yeah, we're not ready to claim that yet. The other update, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we talked about a lawsuit in Atlantic City with Bally's, and they're refusing to pay a almost $2.5 million jackpot. A little bit of upside swing for the lady that's trying to get her money. The judge refused to dismiss the case, which happens a lot in those kinds of claims. And her attorneys have asked the judge to subpoena the film from that night. As you remember, they wouldn't pay because of a tilt sign that came up on the winning slot machine. And their argument is that when they opened the machine, the workers did that not in the best efficient way, and they caused the tilt signal to pop up. And the last I saw was that Bally's was fighting the release of those videotapes from that night.
Wow.
So so far, I mean, the lady is hanging in there, and things have moved a little bit to her favor. I think something should be out. I tried to find it today and I couldn't, but something new should be out just in the next 3 days.
I bet they reach a settlement pretty soon on that.
I bet they do too. Yeah.
Yeah, that it sounds like, as you said, it's moving in her favor, which, that's win one for John Q. Public,
Yes, right. Let the small guy win.
Yeah, you were talking about Indigo Sky and the new restaurant. Is it Rock and Brew? I think is the chain. Yeah, buddy of mine, I was talking to him today that goes down there pretty frequently. Not a fan of the change away from what they had. They had is it the Creekside bar that was like a little sports bar area. Food was outstanding when it was their own food there.
It was good.
Yeah, he said that, his favorite was chicken fried steak that was about that big, with gravy, and ordered one in that Rock and Brew, and it was about the size of a hockey puck, and it was about $10 more. And so that that was the thing that when we go to Indigo Sky, I just noticed the pricing on the food was incredibly low, and really kind of made you feel like you were actually getting something back. And I don't know if Rock and Brew it sounds like it's not, it's more of a chain style pricing probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dan.
Randy. No,
Well,
go ahead.
the prices are up. I know on drinks and everything in there. I've had the Asian wings. I will give them props. They were the best wings I've ever had. So that's the only thing
Really?
I've had from Rock and Brew, but they were really good. But the prices have gone up. But I haven't tried enough to make a determination on if it's great or not.
To me, it's kind of a bad fit for Indigo Sky. I just don't see those two things going together.
Yeah. Is it kind of are they trying to be downstream from a restaurant standpoint, kind of?
Yeah, I think they're trying to kind of up, their game a little bit. And, again, I've said several times, I really like Indigo Sky, but to me, it's kind of a, you try to open a university plaza and all the people that work there have just left their job at Motel 6 to run it.
Yeah. And my understanding is that the place that I was talking about, the little sports bar, now it's closed because they're putting in a higher end steak place at some point to match kind of Red Oak.
I believe so. That's what they've got a wall up. I saw for a new.
So is there anywhere to eat in there other than Rock and Brew right now?
No, I don't think so.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see because they had the cafeteria that was kind of a breakfast dinner catch-all there, and that's where Rock and Brew went in, right? Yeah. Okay.
Right,
had one of our loyal listeners, watchers, followers, Mike Finkbeiner, said prices have doubled on food.
Yeah,
and that's one thing too. I didn't realize, but the comment box is open. So if you want to comment, if you're watching, you want to ask a question for Murph or Danny Handpay, comment there. And yeah, Mike added that Rock and Brew is the only place to eat there. They even charge you for your iced tea or coffee. So, I had a little system because I'm a tightwad. I would go get a free soda at the machine out in the casino and just carry it on in. But they didn't charge you for your sodas when you, which was kind of cool too. So yeah. So anyway, Murph, where did you head during the 2 weeks?
Both. I went, 2 weeks ago, I started at Indigo Friday and went to Downstream Saturday. Didn't I? I saw you, didn't I, Dan?
Yeah, I stopped by there. I forgot about that. Yeah, I went in the poker room and
I did too. I was in the middle of a tournament that I finished fifth in, and the final four chopped it. So that sucked. And we were at the final table of that, and I was playing in my blackjack tournament. Well, I didn't realize how close they were going to be. So I was short stacked at the final table of my poker tournament while I had to run to the banquet area and try to double my stack quickly in the blackjack tournament, which I did. My first two hands, I went all in twice, had a huge stack, but I knew I was going to be gone for another 30 minutes. So I tried it one more time and went bust. So it was a free roll. So I busted that and then went and busted on the bubble in the tournament. So my tournaments have just been pretty shitty lately.
Murph, did you say that Grant Gibbons was down at one of them, or did you run into him?
I ran into a couple of his buddies, and I finally talked to him. He didn't do any good in his tournament in Iowa he went to, and he was going to come down to Downstream, but then I think he found a home game up in Springfield he was going to play instead of coming to Downstream, but no, didn't run into him.
Anything new coming up at either of the two main ones most people go to from here, the two mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, they have some new drawings that are starting. At Downstream, you can accumulate your points, and then on the weekends they'll have drawings, and you get a one drawing for each point you have. I've kind of looked back, and for me, and everybody may have different experience. The times of September and October I've never done very good at either place, and for whatever reason, right around the first week in November and December has always been a lot better for me, and there are people that say that every 3 months when they start that new fiscal cycle that they think the payout rate is different, that because
Good theory.
Huh?
Oh, that's a good theory. It might.
Yeah,
That might. I
their
need to keep
payout
better
rate has
notes.
to be a certain amount, and
Right.
sometimes the casino um, will make their money in the early part of that fiscal time, and then the payouts are better during the last half of that fiscal quarter.
So
Now,
they're just in the holiday spirit of giving as you move
yeah,
closer.
and I don't know if there's anything to that, but
Yeah.
that I have heard people say that.
There is a poker tournament, a 30K coming up next. Is next Thursday the 1st? I think getting close to it.
Yeah.
Whatever next Thursday is. That Thursday,
Wednesday.
Friday,
Wednesday's the first.
Saturday.
I think
Wednesday's
Thursday's
the
the
first.
second. Yeah.
Maybe it is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Anyway, 30K guaranteed, $400 buy-in at Downstream next
wow.
weekend. So they have like 3 or 4 days you can play any of those days or multiple days to try to bag chips. So
Okay.
I may
Are
be
you
back.
going to
I'll be
that?
back. Well, I'm going to Vegas this weekend, so I'll either be stuck in Vegas, broke, or who knows where I'll be. I may be in jail.
Well, you'll have Vegas stories. I'm headed to Kansas City Saturday to the Ameristar, first time
Nice.
visit there. So I'll come back with a report on, what I see and how much I don't leave there. I'm actually going to go and gamble a little bit, hang out in their sports bar Saturday night and watch, I think Georgia Bama play that night.
Great
Oregon,
football games.
yeah, Oregon, Penn State that night. And speaking of that, we're getting ready to bring in our resident football guru, Phil Montgomery. Phil, how you doing?
There he is.
I'm good. Hi, Dano,
What's
Murph.
going on, Phil?
What's up,
Not
Coach?
much. Hi, Scott. You too.
Thank
He
you,
almost
Phil.
lost that guru title that last time he was on here.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I think I only was anywhere close on one game that we talked about. So I figured my career was over after that.
Well, we decided to bring you back to give you a chance to atone for that,
One more time, huh?
yeah.
We
Well,
believe in second chances.
actually, we'll just keep bringing you back, until you get it right. But
We lost.
no,
Is he gone? Did he fall
yeah.
out of the chair?
Did we lose him?
He's gone.
Hey, while we're waiting on him, can I tell a quick, clean
Fire away.
Phil Montgomery story?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was athletic director and principal down at Ozarks, Phil was our football coach. And to kind of set this story up, Phil loved pizza, but he didn't like much sauce on his pizza. So one day I go back towards the gymnasium and I hear stuff flying against the walls. I hear a lot of words you don't usually hear around the school building. So I go back in the locker room and Phil is furious. He's throwing stuff in his office. He's yelling and hollering. And as I walk in, there's a Pizza Hut box sitting there, and there's a Pizza Hut right across from the old high school. And I go, Phil, man, what's up? Are you okay? He goes, too much sauce on my pizza again.
Oh, this thing's killing me.
Yeah. Phil, we keep losing you there. What's going on with your phone? It's going to be hard for us to get his pick.
Hey, just flip your phone open if you're using that old flip phone.
And it's just knocking me off.
Phil, what's going
is.
on? Yeah, just sit still. Last time you were sliding off the camera.
I'm trying. That's why I'm resting my chin on my hand so I don't move.
There you go. And it was like, where did Phil go? And it was one of these.
I'll get you back as quick as I can, but I don't know. I got a new computer, so next time may just do it. I'll do it on there. That might be better. But I'm technologically challenged. No, and the story Evans is telling, I never used language like that, did I, around school, Murph? I never.
Yeah.
Never.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, Phil, been an interesting start to the college football season.
Mm-hmm.
The SEC, of course, everybody knows I'm an OU fan, and that was a great OU Auburn game. I wanted to ask you, as a coach, former coach, the play that OU really has taken a lot of grief for afterward, where the SEC officials, the SEC admitted that the crew blew it. What happened was Isaiah Satania, the Arkansas transfer receiver, leaves the huddle, goes to the line, and runs toward the side, is jogging toward the sideline, and Auburn thinks he's checking out of the game. No OU sub came on, Satania gets about a step away from the end line and then turns and lines up and points to the official, who points to him like receivers do, like, you're good. Well, no Auburn D-back went out there with him, and he was wide open for about a 30-yard touchdown catch.
Right.
Your thoughts on that as a coach? Did they do anything deceptive or illegal in that case?
I first of all, I'm not 100% on the college rule, but it sounds son of a gun.
Just keep talking. We can hear you.
Yeah, well,
you can hear me. Okay,
yeah,
all right. Well, I'm getting it back.
Well, we had him.
Well, didn't they say it's against the rule?
Yeah, they say it's deception or something like that, and that's illegal. The deception rule, and they didn't really, it was by design, to make Auburn think that he was leaving the field, but he didn't sprint off like he was trying to get off. He just ran over there and then stopped and turned.
We always pounded it in our kids' heads. The linebackers and secondary count bodies. Every play count. Check the sidelines, because you never can tell. But they're usually going to do it right in front of their bench. Yeah. They're not going to do it in front of the opponent's bench. But it's let Auburn cry. I have no real love lost for them anyway.
I was just say I'm asking a Bama fan to tell me something that actually cost Auburn a touchdown.
It just breaks my heart.
Randy Murphy.
Yeah.
You remember a few weeks ago how vehement Scott was that it was against the rule. You couldn't scout in person, black and white, no question. Quit talking about it. But the SEC said they violated the rule, but now all of a sudden there's a big gray area for Scott.
No, I mean, and it's not me with the gray area. It's the country with the gray area, because literally they didn't, violate anything in terms of trying to bring somebody on. They didn't substitute.
Everybody had that play in the old days. Everybody had that play. We had it in high school. It's like the hidden ball trick, kind of.
Well, and Auburn's coaches up in the box were screaming timeout, timeout down to Hugh Freeze.
Call a timeout.
Yeah. And Freeze claims he was trying, and they wouldn't grant it to him. But anyway,
run out in the middle of field, signaling timeout. They'll grant it.
Yeah, it caught up with OU because John Mateer broke his hand in the game and is out. He had surgery today. And is expected to miss 4 weeks. But I'd heard that the surgeon he went to is the same one that had Jared Goff back playing in about 12 days. So Mateer's the leading Heisman candidate. If you look at the odds right now. And, OU's got a bye week this week, then Kent State, and then Texas in 2.5 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get him healed in time for that. But
he's probably not going to play. What I've read, he's shooting to get back for the Bama game later in the season for sure.
Yeah.
But they're going to have this. Guys, I'm not moving a muscle.
Okay.
They're going to.
Anybody want to touch that one?
That's normal. Muscle movement at this point in my life is.
Hey, when did you get muscles?
Yeah.
Easy there.
All right,
easy there, Charlie Atlas.
Let's jump into this real quick before we lose him 10 more times. But
yeah, no kidding.
Big slate this weekend. And of course, the marquee game is your Crimson Tide playing Georgia at Georgia on Saturday night. I think it's a 6:30 kick on that. Georgia is a 3.5-point favorite. What do you see in that one?
Since Kirby Smart went to Georgia after a year or so, every time we've played them, my statement has always been, how in the world are we going to beat them? I mean, because they're so good and they recruit so well, and I haven't went into hardly any of those games with any confidence at all. And last 10 times we've played, Bama's won 9 of them. How, I don't know, but this looks like another one. Georgia's the favorite, but Bama seems to find a way to get it done. The 3.5. I would probably take Bama and take the 3.5 points, and it may not even be close. Bama is getting their number one running back, Jam Miller, back, and their best defensive lineman both of them have missed all 3 games so far this year. So that will help. That will help. Miller is a quality back, and so. With Ty Simpson, he's looked very good at quarterback the last 2 games, and they've had their bye week, just like Georgia did. And we'll see what happens.
I think Kirby's like 1-6 against Bama, and most of those were Saban, and stuff. But yeah, so I mean,
DeBoer beat him last year. DeBoer won the only matchup they've had, and that was last year. And I didn't think Bama had a snowball's chance, and you know what? Last year of beating them, and they did.
Yeah, there's 2 other marquee games. The other one that night, Oregon, the number 6 team in the country, at number 3, Penn State. It's also a 6:30 kickoff. So get those
whiteout games.
Yeah, run the DVR. I'll probably be watching. I'll watch it probably a series at a time. Watch Bama for a series, then go watch the Ducks and Penn State. That should be a great game. Penn State's awfully hard to beat, especially as Murph said on the whiteout. They're hard to beat at home. Oregon is, from what I've seen and everything, they've got a great club. But the thing about it is right now, Penn State, Oregon, neither one of them, though, have really played anybody. So you don't know. But I'd kind of lean toward Penn State and give the 3.5.
Covered. Okay.
What about the total in that game? Is there any defense there? 52.5.
52.5. I think it'll go under.
Okay, that's what I was thinking too. So
I think it'll go under. Penn State's going to make the game. Penn State's going to make it a defensive struggle.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
A good one at 2:30 in the afternoon. Number 4 LSU at number 13 Ole Miss. The Rebels are a 1.5 favorite. Kind of a little surprising there, I think, isn't it? That Ole Miss even being a favorite at home, because that's a good LSU team, but LSU's having some trouble offensively, aren't they?
Yeah, they've not been real consistent, but they looked better last week. I think, whenever it comes down to it, and I agree, I was a little surprised when I saw that spread at 1.5 for Ole Miss. If you're going to look at the 2 teams without any point spread or anything, it always, to me, you look at the team that's most talented to start with. Now, they may not have developed their players, et cetera, but LSU is going to have more talent than Ole Miss most years.
What's the over-under on that one, Murph? Have you got that?
I didn't write that one down, but the thing I like about that, I like Ole Miss big for the simple fact that Lane Kiffin's daughter is dating the middle linebacker for LSU. So, Dad's going to rub it in.
Speaking of Lane, I watched tonight from 6 to 7 on ESPN before the Cubs and Mets game on here. It was a 30 for 30 on Lane Kiffin, and it was really good. I mean, they did it very well. All of his stops and stuff, and how he's now sober, and he's settled down there in Oxford and is not really looking to run around and chase other jobs and stuff. It was really interesting. And Lane's a good coach. I mean, when he was offensive coordinator at Bama, he was hard to beat. Yeah. He was very hard to beat. The guy knows what he's doing. He's just a little off the wall.
Al Davis didn't like him.
Well, he's entertaining. Kiffin is. On the flip side, I find Brian Kelly like nails on a chalkboard.
He is. He's got the personality of a dish rag. I mean, it's what'd you say, Murph, about Bama? Kiffin?
I said Al Davis didn't like him though.
Oh, Al Davis. Ooh, then they covered that. And
that's why I need to watch that.
Yeah, you do, because Al drafted the quarterback from LSU, Russell, and Lane did not want to draft him. He wanted to draft Calvin Johnson, Megatron.
I know,
And I'm like, Al, you might ought to just kept your mouth shut and let him draft the wide receiver.
Yeah. That's a 55.5 on the line. That's definitely an under, isn't it?
Which game were you referring to?
LSU and Ole
LSU?
Miss.
LSU.
LSU and Ole Miss.
Yeah, I think that one would go over that.
Over? Yeah, because I mean the struggles that LSU's had offensively. You think? Okay.
I think they'll both score. Those two teams usually do. LSU rolled up some points last week.
Yeah.
And of course, their first game was against who was that? Clemson in Death Valley.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Clemson still, they hadn't spit out the bit yet. They just did that last weekend.
Yeah.
Couple other games, early games on the college slate we'll talk about. USC is a 6.5-point favorite at Illinois. Illinois got boat raced last week by Indiana, which was
did they?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
They
has
got.
Illinois bounced back, you think?
I didn't see that one last week coming because Illinois, I saw them against, I forget who it was a couple of weeks ago, and I thought they looked pretty good. But my gosh, Indiana had over 300 yards rushing, and I don't think Illinois got to 50 in the game, and that was a curb stomp in there. I think Illinois will recover. I would take the
Points in Illinois.
6.5 points because USC. Yeah, if you played them out in LA, where all the stars are and everything, but bring them to the Midwest, and I think they're going to find out over the course of time. Them and UCLA and some of the others that came to the Big Ten that maybe that's not exactly what they needed to be doing.
The other, it's a regional game actually of interest and national. Notre Dame goes down to Fayetteville to play Arkansas. The Fighting Irish are a 4.5-point favorite. I tweeted this out, but I don't know what Arkansas has done to piss off the sports gods. But the College World Series where they made 4 consecutive just awful plays to lose to LSU in the game before the final series, and then 2 weeks ago they fumble at the end and blow a game that they've got wrapped up. It was Ole Miss, wasn't it, that they were about to beat Ole Miss?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then Saturday, I don't know if you guys saw it or not. Literally, they're just trying to run the clock down to kick the game-winning field goal. I think they were down 1 or 2, and it had been over. And instead of just taking a knee, they try to pick up some yardage, and the kid gets the fumble, gets the ball knocked out. Memphis recovers, game over. And I feel, we've seen some coaches get whacked already. Sam Pittman, is he going to make it through this year in your eyes?
I think he'll make it till the end of the year. Sam's not been one to cause problems, or be a lightning rod or anything. So I think Sam. Don't think they'll do him dirty and get rid of him. And they're 2-2. I mean, they've lost to 2 good teams, but it's games that they should have won. They should have won. Yeah, should be 4-0. This game against Notre Dame, 4.5. That running back from Notre Dame is good. He's a good
number one projected NFL draft running back.
He's quality. The quarterback's getting better. Notre Dame has lost to 2 good teams, so I got a feeling that Notre Dame may cover that 4.5.
One other game I wanted to touch on, Missouri State is a 4.5-point dog at home against Western Kentucky. I went to the last 2 games there at Plaster. A great atmosphere again this past Saturday, despite the rain knocking it out for about 30 minutes with some lightning. But the Bears sitting there at 2-2, of course, a good win at Marshall that they just thumped Tennessee Martin last week. They had SMU down 10-0 early in the second quarter. We didn't do a show last week to talk about that. Phil, are you kind of surprised by what the Bears have done already in this first year of FBS under Ryan Beard?
No, I'm surprised. I think they're doing great. I mean, I thought before the season, if they could find a way to win 3 or 4 games, that would be an awesome season. Because it's not easy whenever you move up that level. But a lot of people want to discuss, should they have done this? Should they not have done this? I think it's a great move for them. I think they were treading water where they were at.
Yeah.
And once the Valley brought in the Dakota schools, that made it just so hard to be competitive.
Was the SEC of 1AA.
Is the SEC and 1AA. Now they're up with 85 scholarships, and they don't really have a whole lot of people in their area that are in the conference. Well, what's the closest person to them? I mean, it's a pretty good jaunt anywhere they go in the league. Western Kentucky, would that be the closest?
That would
maybe
probably be it. Yeah, honestly, yeah.
So it's not like they're going to be pounding the recruiting trail directly against these people for the most part, but nobody in that conference, unlike North Dakota State, Northern Iowa, South Dakota State, Youngstown, people like that. There's nobody in this conference that has been a national power year after year after year after year. It's not that way. I mean, they have their good times, they have their bad times, right? I guess right now, Western Kentucky and Liberty are probably the two best year in and year out. But
Liberty's had a flare up here and there where they were really good. And
who's that? Who's
Liberty?
Liberty.
They've had, but then they usually go back down to being above average at that point too. So.
Well, Western Kentucky had a bad year a couple years ago.
Yeah,
where they weren't really that strong, but they come and go at that level. Of course, a lot of that depends on how many players the Power Four has raped and pillaged from you, because that coaching at that level, it's hard because you're going to lose players every year. The money is going to talk. You're going to lose some good players, and that's why I think right now. You can dispute it if you want to, but I think the gap between the Power Four, which used to be Power Five, but the Power Four and the group of six, I think group of five, whatever it is, I think the gap between those is larger now than it was a couple years ago.
And we'll probably see that in the playoffs when
I think you'll see it in the playoffs. Right now, I can't name a group team. Maybe, I don't know, Memphis.
Yeah. I mean, on that broadcast, they said Memphis was considered the front runner of the group of five teams to get the at-large bid into the playoff. And
you put Memphis,
Arkansas had beat,
You put Memphis up against, you put them up against, well, they probably will come in number 12 seed since they're doing it that way now, and they'd play the number 5.
Yeah.
They're going to get hurt. They're going to get thumped, most likely.
Before we let you go, Mike Gundy gets let go at Oklahoma State.
I'm a man.
Just an embarrassing loss to Tulsa at home. A Tulsa program that's been really bad the last few years. Embarrassing for their fans. And coming off 2 weeks earlier, Oregon beating them 66-3 or something, just ridiculous. Were you surprised that they let him go here in season, or did you think it was just they had to do something?
I think they had to do something. I mean, you're probably happy about this being Sammy Sooner, because there's no love lost between the Sooners and the Cowboys. That's for sure.
Little brother, they're not really a factor.
They're the little brother, right? Yeah. But I think I heard a lot of talk the last few days about. He went out and got a bunch of kids out of the portal last year, and he was taking bodies. He wasn't taking quality.
Yeah.
And it backfired on him, and he turned around and went and did the same thing this year. And again, so far in the first 2 or 3 games, those kids they're not quality players. They're not power level players. They probably need to be playing down in the group of 5. So I'm not surprised that they did it. I'm not surprised at all. And when they lost Boone Pickens when he passed away, that program, that school, it changed. It changed.
Somebody tweeted out, and I thought it was the best, kind of synopsis of Gundy's career here at the end. He made a living off of recruiting 2 and 3 stars and keeping them in the program for 4 or 5 years and coaching them up, and where by the time they were juniors and seniors, they'd have 18 to 22 upperclassmen out there on the field that have been in the program. In today's college game, where kids are coming and going in the portal, if they're not playing, they're not going to come sit somewhere. You can't do that anymore. I mean, you got to, look at OU. They've been mediocre the last couple of years. They go out and they buy a quarterback. They go out and buy a running back that hasn't been on the field. That's how you get good quickly now, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, I tell you, you're exactly right, and it's kind of disheartening. I don't enjoy the college game as much as I used to because you don't know the kids, you don't know the people that are going to be on that team, and you have a great recruiting year, and after 1 year, after one semester, half of your recruiting class is gone. NIL money and the portal not having to sit out, they're gone. And like you said, if they're not playing immediately, they're out of there. It's not like the old days. Whenever I remember the Bama teams back just a few years ago, kids would go in there as freshmen. Some of them would play, but the rest of them, they'd be on special teams and stuff their freshman year. Sophomore year, hey, they're ready to go. I mean, then they're developed in the weight room. They're developed, learning the system and so forth, and they're ready to step in. And they're talented players, or they're talented athletes. But now
team
those
players.
kids are gone. Those kids are gone now.
Yeah,
they're somewhere else.
Well, Phil, we want to congratulate you on keeping most of your head in the camera frame for.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
The entire time today. There were some times that we got nostril, wasn't there, Dan? Did you see some? Yeah, but we'll bring you back on in a couple weeks. Talk more football, defend your picks. So
I'll get with you, and you can lead me through the computer how to do it. I got a new laptop, so I'll be glad.
I'll come over. We'll do that. Okay.
All right. I didn't say I wanted you to come over.
Okay. Thanks, Phil. We'll see you.
Hey, Phil.
See you, Dan. See you, Murph.
See you, Coach.
Phil Montgomery with his picks, and so if I remember, he took Bama.
Bama, yeah, I got him. Bama, Illinois, over Ole Miss, and Notre Dame. That's my 14 parlay picks. Yeah,
we will hold him to those, and we'll talk about them next week. So, let's jump to the NFL real quick. The three of us looking at the weekend slate. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, Seahawks at Cardinals. Looks like that Seattle's a 1.5 point favorite on the road. Cardinals lose James Conner for the year with an Achilles. So Trey Benson, I believe second year maybe on Benson, or third year running back. It's kind of his show back there. And I can't draft Kyler Murray anymore in fantasy. He's just a train wreck, a roller coaster ride that I don't want to take anymore. But get to the weekend on Sunday. Chargers are 6.5 point favorites at the Giants. The Giants have pulled the plug on the Russell Wilson experience, and it's Jackson Dart's show beginning in New York. It's kind of exciting because, I mean, if you watch what was just an awful game to watch, the Chiefs and Giants the other night, but I mean, you add Jackson Dart to Cam Scatteraboo and Malik Neighbors, they got a good young nucleus there. It's going to be kind of fun, don't they?
Dart won't throw it out of the back of the end zone on fourth down. And that was terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for that. See what he can do. That may give them a spark. They could, they're at home, right? Against the Chargers.
They are at home. Yeah. Chargers are almost a 7-point favorite on the road. So that'd be interesting. Eagles are 3.5 point favorites on the road at Tampa Bay. Kind of a surprise by that line a little bit because is Tampa still one of the only unbeatens? Aren't they at 3-0? I believe they are.
I saw they've won their games with 9 seconds left, 5 seconds left, and no time on the clock, I think.
Yeah.
That's how they've done it this year.
And they're hampered now because Mike Evans has a hamstring, is going to miss a few weeks there, which means I think they may be getting Chris Godwin back possibly this week, which would be good timing for Tampa in that regard. Chiefs host the Ravens, another good matchup. The interesting thing with this, couple things, the Ravens are a 2.5 point favorite on the road at Arrowhead. I believe that's the second time in 2 home games this year that the Chiefs have been the dogs at home, the Eagles being the other one. And the other thing is somebody is coming out of this game 1-3.
Yep.
Yeah, both of them 1-2. The Ravens, of course, we talked about it. They let that game at Buffalo get away in the opener. And then last week the Lions went in there and what Derrick Henry, what's going on there?
He's running great, but fumbling at the worst possible time. He gave away both those games.
Yeah, I think he might be just a little pissed coming Arrowhead, especially the first Chiefs guy that tries to strip him. He may push him through the concrete wall of the lower level there. But
hey, so what are the diehard Chief fans around Southwest Missouri saying about the Chiefs?
You know, when I check Twitter, social media, there's no panic yet because Xavier Worthy's been out. Rashee Rice is out 6 games. They might get Worthy back this week.
He practiced today. He was a full participant today, so I'd say
he's wearing a harness, I think, too, which somebody said that makes it awfully hard to catch any ball thrown above your shoulders. If it's all down here. Of course, Mahomes is pretty good about getting it where it needs to be, but I think the alarming things, Dan, are no running game still through 3 weeks. Pacheco still just doesn't look like the same guy from the start of last year. And then the offensive line is just an Olay, let the Bulls through there, and Mahomes is running for his life. But Tyquan Thornton's been a revelation. I think he's a 4th-year receiver. He's been the deep threat that they haven't had. Hollywood Brown showed up for 1 game and has Hollywood Browned himself back to obscurity. Just don't have any weapons. And Travis Kelce, we put on the OGG Facebook page the Frankie Valli in concert video and said this is like watching Travis Kelce now, but it is. I mean, what are your thoughts on Kelce, both of you?
Well, the only thing that I was kind of wondering, when they get back some of those other receivers, will that actually maybe open it up a little bit for Kelce if they have to watch some of those other guys a little bit more?
I think so, but Kelce he still looks a step slow, and
his head's not in it. He's not in. He and Mahomes aren't on the same page, and those guys were, he's stepping the wrong direction. He looks like he's done, but.
Well, and he comes off the field yelling at Andy Reid again the other day.
Yeah,
and I think
Chiefs
fans were kind of like, I'm sure Chiefs fans were like, shut up and get open. Quit griping and just find a way. It could open it up. Hopefully it opens up the running game a little bit more too. If you got Rice on one side and Worthy on another, and then Thornton continues to emerge, that's a pretty good 3 wide receiver set. And then you got Kelce, if he can just kind of find the hole in the zone and just set there, and become an option too. But I'll tell you what, the butts may pucker a little bit with that thought of being 1-3. Either one of them coming out there, because those are 2 teams that you don't see 1-3 very often with either one.
Which of those teams, if you were going to bet on that game, which of those teams, Murphy, would you pick?
If I was going to bet the Baltimore KC game,
yeah.
I mean, Baltimore's looked so good, but they've just let games slip away. And Patrick Mahomes got a win under his belt at home. Yuck. I'd love to take Baltimore, but they wouldn't.
What's the over-under on that? Has anybody got that handy? Let me see.
I do. 48.5.
I'd say it's a game where the over is probably going to be in play.
I had the under in the Monday night game, and they just lit it up. So
yeah, Baltimore's defense is terrible, which is hard. You don't ever get to say that usually, but they're not very good. And so if there's ever a get right opportunity, when Philadelphia came in with Hurts and company, Philadelphia's defense is still pretty good.
Yeah,
but I think this Baltimore defense is not very good.
It could be a shootout. Last team with the ball. Probably.
Bears are 1.5 point favorite at the Raiders. Caleb Williams came to life last week for Chicago.
He did. It won't matter if we have the worst offensive line maybe in the history of the NFL. So, I had high hopes this year, but after watching all their games, it's very depressing. The offensive line's terrible for the Raiders.
Yeah, Trey Tucker. Trey
Tucker coming out of nowhere, just throwing up touchdowns every week. So, but I've got Jacoby, and so I can't have 2 Raider receivers. They don't put up that many points. So
we'll see. Jennings struggles to this point. Are you concerned, or is this a product of the Raiders' offensive line?
I think it's the offensive line. The things I've seen from him, he's got that juice, and for his size, he runs over people. And so if he can just get any space, I think you'll see what he really is. But until he gets that, he's going to have these 1-yard carries every game and be labeled.
Murph, are you going to that game Sunday night?
Going to that game Sunday in Vegas. Yep. So I'm going to
cool.
I'm going to have to find a big prop bet to put on. I can't bet on my team when I'm there. That hurts too much. So I'll find some crazy 40-1 bet, maybe put some money on it and root for that.
Now, do you still get any opportunities for field tickets like you used to?
No, not anymore. Those they don't really let people on the field anymore. Dad was buddies. One of his Las Vegas hosts was good friends with Mike White, the coach of the Raiders, back in the late '90s, and we got field passes for that. And like during the game, we were on the field, which I don't think you can do that anymore.
Okay.
So yeah, those days are done. But
I will
those were
say, this weekend is one of those weekends that watch football during the day, Sunday, NFL, watch the afternoon games and shut the TV off and actually speak to your wife or your girlfriend because Sunday night game is the Packers at the Cowboys. Dallas is just awful. Packers are 6.5-point favorites.
They've got a good kicker.
Yeah, they
Dallas
do.
They do have a great kicker.
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team.
Dallas is out, or CeeDee Lamb's out 3 to 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain. Their
That
defense
sucks for
was
me.
awful. Dak is Dak. That's been the problem with that. And then Monday night we get a doubleheader, but it's not exactly two games you're going to stay up to watch to the end. It's the Jets and the Dolphins, and then the Bengals at the Broncos. And that Bengals Broncos would have been great if Joe Burrow
probably
had
would have been a
decided
good
to go down.
Yeah. We have the Ryder Cups this weekend.
Yes, and I forgot all about that. How you betting that?
Well, it's here, isn't it? Isn't it here this year?
It's here, but boy, you look at that European roster.
Looks pretty stout.
There's some dogs on that deal, and I don't know. I know home turf has a little bit of effect but these guys are so used to it. Most of those guys are veterans of the Ryder Cup, the European guys that they're like whatever.
They're used to the heckling at a golf match. So I don't know.
Hey, since I'm in first place in our fantasy league, could we at least talk about our league before I drop out of the league?
It's on the schedule here.
I think we're out of time.
Yeah, Danny Hampay is 6-0, and this is how he's 6-0 is our OGG's listener league is a doubleheader week each week where you play an opponent and you also play the median score of the league for that week. So Dan's at 6-0. Tua for the money is 5-1, and then there's a 4-way tie at 4-2 for third place. I played Danny Hampay this week. I'm not going to make a stupid bet like Murph did on the steak dinner.
Come on.
Because my team's not very good. I'm going to go into not thinking I have a chance. Unless Josh Allen goes off against the Saints, which he very well could.
He could. Yep.
Who was the point leader this week? Which team was the point leader?
I think that was
Skull and Bones. That's right.
Was that okay? You're one of the teams that's tied at 4-2, I think, too.
Yeah.
I got smoked by Danny Hampay, but have since been on a 4-0 run. So don't sleep on me.
Well, my defense got almost 40 points this past week.
I saw that.
Yeah. Who'd you have, Minnesota or Seattle?
Minnesota's D.
Minnesota.
Yeah, and we'll close with a couple things here. We talked about some of the key injuries: Mike Evans, CeeDee Lamb, James Conner. Trey Tucker was the hot waiver wire pickup. Your waivers probably processed earlier this morning, but you might go check and see if he slipped through somewhere. Murph, does he continue that? He's not going to have 145 yards and 3 touchdowns, but will he be a key part of the Raiders going forward still?
I mean, he and Jacoby, I know Jacoby's the go-to guy, and with Brock being kind of banged up, I mean, pick him up. The Raiders are going to be behind in the second half in every game. So you're going to get, and even quarterback
Geno.
Yeah, I mean, Geno's not going to be a bad pickup either because he's going to get tons of crap yardage in the second half.
Geno likes to throw deep, and one thing that Trey Tucker can do is he can jet past that D-back on a go route and get open.
He can fly. Yeah. He's short though. He's only like 5'8", but he can get open.
The alarming part about this first 3 weeks of fantasy, as I called it here in the notes, what the hell is going on? Daniel Jones and Caleb Williams are top 5 quarterbacks through 3 weeks. Javonte Williams and Travis Etienne are top 10 running backs. Trey Tucker and Quentin Johnston of the Chargers are both top 5 receivers. And the top 3 scoring tight ends through weeks 1 through 3 are not Mr. Bowers and Trey McBride and Kittle. They are Jake Ferguson, Jawan Johnson, and Hunter Henry. So
Henry, yeah, he had a big game.
All that draft prep that everybody put in, and the studying and who am I going to take as my tight end 1 here. So far, you're better off if you got guys in round 13 that are starting now. But that's the fun of fantasy football, isn't it?
That's why we play.
Yeah. So, well, guys, have a good weekend. I'll give you a report from KC. Murph, you're going to Vegas. Dan, are you staying home or are you going to make a trip somewhere?
I'm right in the middle of my volleyball season, so I'm booked up here for a little bit.
Booked up, out of commission, right?
Out of commission. That's right.
Well, and that just means that the casinos get to keep their money for a little bit now, don't they?
I hope they keep it until I get back there.
Yeah. All right, guys.
I'll be sure and text you guys. I'll be sure and text you guys after midnight from Vegas. So
yeah, we appreciate those. Yes, thank you. So, guys, have a good one, and we'll do this again next week.
Okay,
you two boys.
See everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week on the Ozarks Gambling Guru.